Two professors have created a public storm in the UK of an article advocating the use of so-called after-birth abortions. They say it's merely an academic discussion, with the medical journal which published the article defending the debate. But for some, the idea is a step too far, as RT's Ivor Bennett reports.
Shelley Thupos was 8 months pregnant when she found out her son would be born with Down syndrome. Even as late as that, the only advice she got was to have an abortion. Doctors tried to persuade her Sam's condition would be a struggle not worth living. But 6 years on, the only struggle mother and child have had was ignoring that advice.
I could start all over again, and I was choosing not to. And I was treated as something of a abnormality, actually. I was treated as if I was just a bit stupid. So it's very sad to think that they are the people who are giving advice to mothers. They have a duty to everyone. They've taken an oath to preserve life, and they don't, a lot of them, I feel, don't feel that our children are worth preserving. They're not worth saving. They're not worth having, and that really isn't the case.
That stereotype's just been taken a whole lot further by two ethicists who argue it's okay to kill babies, even after they're born. The controversial comments were published by the Oxford-educated professors in a leading British medical journal. They dismissed newborns as potential and not actual persons. They say killing them's no different to a normal prenatal abortion, but critics brand it infanticide.
It was a speculative case, and this article has been defended on the grounds of free speech. But would we accept, for example, an article advocating that Jews or blacks were not persons, only potential persons, and they could also be killed? I sort of asked the question, is a newborn child any less of an equal member of the human family than a member of a certain race or of one gender or the other? What really is the difference?
The authors have stoked an ethical storm by advocating after-birth abortions in all cases, even if the baby's not disabled. Abortions are only permitted in Britain on non-medical grounds during the first 24 weeks of a pregnancy. The authors have now received death threats and say they were merely making an academic discussion. They refuse to give an interview, but it's a line the journal's editors defend.
Our job is to publish arguments for and against controversial issues so that people can make up their own minds in the long run. And some of these issues are very complex. And while personally, for example, I don't agree with the conclusions of the paper, I would like to defend people's right to express these views and other people's right to respond to them.
Academic discussion or not, the articles prompted outrage not only amongst pro-life groups, but also mothers of children with disabilities who declined the option of abortion.
It was a horrific article. It was horrible. There definitely seems to be a trend now to say that, you know, these children shouldn't be here. It's not something terrible, it's not awful. Just because it's not what you imagined doesn't mean that it's not something fantastic, because having Sam in our life is amazing, absolutely amazing.
Sam's a member of his local swimming club and plays football too. Seeing him here, it's hard to believe how doctors could say his life would be a burden. Ivor Bennett, RT, London.